Welcome to Antiques Ghost Show. This superb 19th century mansion behind me is about to witness a paranormal investigation as we try and unite today's daring volunteers with their distant ancestors. Our job is to take their treasured family heirlooms and make them talk. Our resident psychic and medium, Acorah, believes he can take any object and tap into layers of information embedded within it through time. By unpeeling these layers, he'll attempt to unveil the original owners of the heirlooms we placed before him. It's a psychic experiment, so he gets no sneak previews, and to test his findings, we've lined up two independent experts who'll pursue their own leads. Anthony Adolph is a family historian who'll hunt through the archives in search of hard facts. And Chris Gower is an antiques specialist, on hand to put each heirloom under the microscope. Our team of experts have been denied all access to the heirlooms and indeed the people that own them. In just a few minutes, Derek will begin his psychic reading. So, let's get a sneak preview of what's in store. Alison and Paul have arrived with a wooden walking stick, passed down through Alison's family. Apparently its original owner didn't just use it for walking, but the challenge to our team is to add to the family legends that already surround him. Hello Alison, hello Paul, welcome to Antiques Ghost Show. Now, I have to say, we've never had a walking stick so far. You've brought along one with you today. Tell us about it.
Well, this walking stick belonged to my great-granddad on my father's side, and there's lots of stories that go along with that.
Oh yes.
Oh yes.
You're going to keep them to yourself just now?
Just for the moment. All
right, see if Derek picks up on them. Now, Paul, what do you make of psychics and mediums and the paranormal?
I'm very sceptical about it. I feel like I need proof, and hopefully I'll get something that will persuade me a bit more.
Good afternoon, Alison.
Good afternoon.
Lovely
Hello, Derek.
to meet you. Hi.
And you.
I'm Paul.
Hello there.
Very pleased to meet you. Right, this is your beautiful family heirloom, I take it?
It is.
Okay. With your permission, can I please pick this up?
Certainly.
Yeah, thank you. Can I say to you, please, a lady, that's better, I'll put that down now. A lady, please, of her energies, I would say, please, when she was in the physical, she would stand about 5'3", 5'4". This lady, please, I'm looking at your hairline, and I want to say to you, please, Alison, that this lady, please, would have favoured her hair being bobbed or up a lot, and a very precise lady. Oh, look, that's better. I'm also, can I say to you, I hope you understand this also. A person, a lover of classic cars. Classic cars. Can you place and understand George?
Yes.
George?
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Come on, more. Bless you. Yes. Cheery chappy is George. Do you understand?
I would think so, yeah.
And I give her a swagger, okay?
Yes, right.
Okay, like this, okay? And also, please, a great man of, I'd say, dressing up in, cravats and things.
Yes.
Yes. And a very special feature about his shoe wear as well.
Oh.
Shoes, boots, do you understand this?
Yeah, it would have boots.
Yes, but I get all these things coming on me here, okay? They might not mean a great deal, but I've got to give them off to you. Yes, thank you. It's like a hand wants to do this with me and place it that way. So I've got to take it that this beautiful, lovely cane is being handed. 1, 2, 3, and lands 4. Would it be correct to 4 generations?
2, 3. It could be. 4
You'd be
generations?
the fourth, if it started with George.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the thing, because that's his influence give me like the 4. You're the 4th, okay? Wow, okay. I'm just engulfed here in heavy tobacco that is pipe tobacco.
Yes.
Whew. And what a love for that.
That's right.
He loved it. He could think clearly when he puffed on his tobacco. Do you understand this?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
Okay. James is another. Okay. James. Would you understand James?
No.
No. The lovely lady's vibrations that were really, really coming out around me earlier, I feel pleased, and she had her hair back this way. It's like as if I get her in a mental picture, sitting and very meticulously and very carefully embroidering or doing something. It's like a crochet type thing. This was a sincere, not so much hobby, but she did this for the artistry, very good with the needle and what have you, and I feel this should have been well known about her in the family.
Yes.
Because her vibrations have come from here and are all around me here. Very lovely lady. Okay, does that stop that? No more? Okay. When I said no more, I mentally heard, that's it. That's it. What are you expecting more? So I accept that. Okay. Okay. I hope what information
Thank you.
that you can relate and understand. It's
Lovely.
been absolutely lovely to
Thank you
link
very much.
with your vibrations, okay?
Fine, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you, Derek.
Thanks.
Thank you, Derek.
Thank you.
Thank you, Walking Stick. Any other questions for Derek before we close? Chris?
I do. Thanks, Nina. Derek, this, I perceive, was George's stick. Was
Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
And which is 3 layers, 3 generations? 4.
Yes.
4 generations. We're quite certain about that.
Yes.
Best luck. Thanks. Thanks, Derek.
So Alison reacted strongly to the name George, but how much of Derek's description of this man will she be able to verify? Did he have a love of classic cars and pipe smoking? Did his wardrobe include some dapper clothing and a set of boots? Then there was a James and a lady who did embroidery. In the debriefing room, our investigation continues. Who was George?
George was the actual owner of the stick. He was my great-granddad on my father's side, and he was a policeman in Hertfordshire. And in 1912, he became superintendent in Hitchin, and he used to go around the slum areas of the town, and he used to carry just the stick with him for protection. And apparently it's been known to knock a few villains on the head, and still got the stains on it, so I'm told, from years ago.
How politely put. And there was also quite a lot of talk about a man with a swagger who could have worn maybe, he said, boots and a cravat.
Yes, I would think that's probably George we're talking about, and I suppose the boots could be the police boots.
Who was the pipe-smoking man sucking away with? Like this,
Well, my father's a pipe smoker now, but I should think it was probably to do with George Reed that owned the stick, because apparently he did have a standing order with a tobacco company for a regular supply every month.
There was a woman doing some embroidery or crochet with a needle.
Yes, and one of my grandmothers was a seamstress, so I could relate to that being the needlework side. Yeah.
Chris?
Wow. I love the story about the blood stains. I've been looking at this ever since. Where's the blood? There's something about this stick when I first saw it in there. It's very, very dense wood. But what gives this a particular interest is its use. I mean, it was a dual purpose, really, wasn't it? It was to help him along and help him batter away the criminals. A very brave guy. In fact, I want it. I mean, this is going to be my stick of protection. Do you know what would be interesting, actually, if these sort of sticks were used by any other coppers of the time. You know, and there is actually a Metropolitan Police Museum that has all sorts of weapons going back way back to in the annals of time.
Because Hertfordshire Police will have a museum as well. Each county police force,
Yes.
has got their own. Well, they'll have archives,
Right.
Either in the record office or some have their own museums. And I bet you there'll be photos of him. And well, let's spot the stick. I bet you there'll be pictures.
Right, guys, thank you very much for that.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Derek's certainly a hard act to follow, but the next time we see Chris and Anthony, we'll be revealing the results of their investigations. The pressure is definitely on. Join us in a minute when we reveal how they all fared.
The delusions that this guy was suffering from were purely the result of drinking to excess.
This I would use to hit people with.
If I say great-great-grandmother,
Yes.
whoa! Sorry for jumping.
Before the break, Alison and Paul brought in a walking stick that once belonged to Alison's police superintendent ancestor, George Reed. According to family legend, he also used it to crack the odd criminal's head. Derek felt that he made a direct link with this man. He correctly picked up his first name, but one of his hobbies is yet to be verified.
A person, a lover of classic cars. Classic cars.
As well as another name.
James is another, okay. James.
Over to our independent experts, and Anthony set off in search of the official police records, while Chris wanted to see if he could pinpoint the exact origins of this unusual family heirloom. Alison, Paul and Derek have now returned to our country house retreat to hear the results. Paul, Alison, welcome back to the show. Nice to see you again. Welcome back to our experts. Now, they've been hard at work on your behalf, making a film of all the research that they've done for you. We're about to play it to you. How do you feel?
Excited. Yeah. Quite nervous actually, but we've been asking questions of family at home, so there should be a few things that will come up.
Okay, and you might have some more stuff to tell us as well later.
Yes.
So let's get ready to watch it. Before we do, let's ask Derek. Derek, how are you feeling about this one? Quite confident?
Nina, I'm optimistically, anxiously waiting.
Optimistically, anxiously waiting. Well, let's take a look then. The headquarters of the Hertfordshire Constabulary is first stop on Anthony's trail, where he's hoping the police can help him with his inquiries. Inspector Steve Couric is chairman of its very own History Society, and down in the bowels of the police station, he's got a treasure trove of records and artefacts from days gone by. But has he been able to dig out any reference to our Hitchin superintendent, George Reed?
Well, I found out a little bit, not a tremendous amount, but I'm fortunate that there was some records exist of George's service. I found out that he joined the Hertfordshire Constabulary on the 1st of May in 1887. He retired on the 1st of May 1919, and I also found out that he was received the first Hertfordshire police car in 1914, and it was pictured in it, and his photograph is still available today.
Have you got the picture?
I have the picture.
Wow.
and here it is.
Fantastic.
That's George. I don't know the name of the constable who's with him, but the car was bought in 1914. As I say, the very first Hertfordshire police car. It was a Swift cycle car, bought for £119 and then sold 3 years later for £61.
That's amazing. That's an incredible picture. And actually it's quite significant for us because in our psychic reading actually we were told that this man was very interested in classic cars.
Oh, really?
So that's extraordinary you've actually got that.
Yeah. The only other thing I was able to find on him was when he was an inspector. He was at that time stationed in East Herts, and his name appears in a medical occurrence book. It's an old tatty book that every time a prisoner had to be examined by a doctor, an entry would be made in this book. We got two entries, both on the same date, in 1902. It's the 7th of October, when there was a William Harrison in custody who was found wandering in a confused state. A doctor was called, examined Harrison and said, that in his mind the delusions that this guy was suffering from were purely the result of drinking to excess. And George was the inspector on duty, and he countersigned the medical occurrence book.
Oh, that's brilliant. So that's actually George Reed's signature there.
That's George Reed's signature, yeah. Very neat handwriting.
Yes, yes it was, wasn't it? And then, of course, he had this walking stick. Now, would George have sort of bought that walking stick himself, or would that have been issued to him, or what was the...
Well, I'm pretty sure he would not have been issued with it, for two reasons. One, it's not the type of stick that was issued. Secondly, the truncheons that were issued, and I've got this sort of thing that would have been issued in that period. It's a painted truncheon, Victorian truncheon. That would have been issued to constables and sergeants. More senior ranks, and certainly superintendents, were responsible for buying their own uniforms. They had to pay for that themselves, and I would expect that any additional items, such as a truncheon or a nightstick or walking stick, whatever you want to call it, he would have bought or had made himself. So that's something he would have got for his own use.
So although George Reed's walking stick might have performed the same function as this truncheon, it would have been a highly individual addition to his standard police kit. Meanwhile, Chris's research has thrown up an intriguing possibility. He's discovered that the shape of George's stick bears an uncanny resemblance to ones traditionally carried by African tribes like the Zulus. In search of expert help, he's arrived at the shop of David Lewin, a specialist in tribal art. So will his theory be proved correct?
So David, do you think this is an African stick?
Oh, it's definitely African. I can be more specific. It's definitely South African.
Well, how do you know that?
It's a knobkerry. It's what we know as knobkerry. A knobkerry.
A knobkerry.
Exactly
right.
that.
So it's not just a stick.
Not just a
Right,
stick. No,
okay.
it's an extension of manhood. It's what every South African male would carry. There's suggestion that people were recognizable by their sticks. In fact, in terms of custom, people would never enter somebody else's house with a knobkerry. You'd always leave it by the door.
Because it was an offensive weapon, or why?
Essentially that would be the root of it. But interestingly, within a small environment, people could tell who is inside the house by the sticks leaning against the door.
Well, you've got various other styles here, haven't you? That, for instance, is quite different to mine.
Yeah, that you'd take as a much more aggressive item. That's definitely club. If you feel the weight of that, it's quite different to this. This is much more of a swagger stick, if you like.
Right.
It'd be carried sort of, well, at the length of your arm, basically, down about there, and the man would sort of walk around town holding that.
But this I would use to hit people with.
Essentially, you would, but you'd also be carrying it. You wouldn't necessarily be looking. You wouldn't pick that up as a weapon of war. It would be your personal thing, but it would be your weapon to hand. Say if you were at a beer drink and you got a bit drunk and your friends started saying things that you didn't like.
So how do you think a man in Hertfordshire around the turn of the last century would own a knobkerry?
In truth, the Anglo-Zulu Wars of 1879 caused a lot of interest. The Zulu impis were the first to defeat the imperial armies of England. And there was a lot of excitement around that. A lot of knobkerries came back to England from the battlefields. But there is strong evidence that things were sold as curios and as souvenirs.
David, thank you very much indeed. Very interesting.
It's a pleasure. Do you mind if we do a swap?
Absolutely.
Thanks.
If the streets of Hitchin in Hertfordshire could talk, they might recall George Reed pacing their length and breadth, carrying his trusty African swagger stick. And it's here that Anthony's trail now leads, to the site of the old police station where George once served. Can he uncover more facts about his life and times, and perhaps find a solution to the mystery of how he came to own a traditional African fashion accessory?
Well, as we come into the backyard of the police station, we can see the original cells in which George used to lock up the criminals of Hitchin. And over there, there's a 1930s building, but it's on the site of the superintendent's house. So that is actually where George and his family used to live. Well, I wanted to find out more about George Reed, and I've found two really interesting documents. Now, the first one is his birth certificate. He was born in 1863 in Hoddesdon, which is just up the road from us here in Hitchin. And here's something incredible. In the reading, Derek not only gave us the name George, but he also said James. And it turns out that George's father was called James Reed, and he was a farm labourer.
James. Listen to that again. James Would you understand James?
Now, it turned out, of course, that George was quite a prominent local character, and I wanted to find out if an obituary was written once he died. Well, I'm delighted to say that there was one. It's in the Hertfordshire Pictorial for June 1958, and it's really detailed. It confirms where George was born, and it also tells us all about his later police career. He was stationed all over Hertfordshire, including Tring, and it says here, when at Tring, he was frequently on mounted duty as a guard for King Edward VII when he visited Tring Park. So he saw him, and he might have even met the King of England. Now, that's incredible, but it doesn't explain why, as Chris told us, this Hertfordshire policeman, born and bred, should have had an African weapon as a walking stick. But I'm glad to say that the rest of this obituary does explain it. It turns out that when he was 16, long before he joined the police force, George enlisted in the 7th Hussars. And where do you think they sent him? They sent him to Africa. He was in fact in the 1885 expedition sent to try and relieve General Gordon from the siege of Khartoum. It gives us an absolutely clear explanation as to why a Hertfordshire policeman ended up with an African weapon. You know, I can almost imagine him walking through here with his shiny boots on, his African weapon grasped proudly in his hands, off to rid crime from the streets of Hitchin.
Right, well, George Reed, your great-granddad, did you know anything about his army connections?
Nothing at all. No, that's come as a big surprise. Yeah, very interested about that.
Born in Hoddesdon, grew up in
Yes.
lived in Berkhamsted.
Yeah, not too far from us. He didn't go too far, but then on the other hand, he's been to Africa, so
Amazing.
yeah, very interesting.
I mean, what an incredible link. I mean, I guess that's where we've been quite lucky, isn't it? That we've had such a good obituary.
Yes, Nina, luck is the right word there, because we often know...
Skill, of course. Skill, of course.
Well, thank you, but luck is... You're quite right in saying that. Because when you trace family trees, often you'll find the person's death in this country, you'll find them getting married in this country, and then at some point before then, being born. And those records which we use will often miss out the really interesting bit about what did they do before they got married. So in this case, because your ancestor was such a prominent local man, he did have an obituary written, and that told us that before he got married, he was off gallivanting around Africa, trying to save General Gordon and picking up your marvellous walking stick.
Now, Chris, it bothered you,
Yes, it did.
this stick, didn't it?
It did. Well, obviously the style is so un-British, isn't it? And the wood also. But interestingly, you know, Aboriginal art, African art, and the New Zealand, all these tribal things are quite similar, and it does take, you know, expert advice.
And it's definitely not the kind of thing you'd expect a Hertfordshire bobby to have picked up locally.
Absolutely not. But what a marvellous thing to use. I mean, excellent thing to use.
And that's how
that
to
would
keep...
really put fear into people, wouldn't it?
Now, Derek, you must be pleased with that reading, because you got the name George, didn't he? And he also got the name James, which I guess was George's father.
Yes.
So your great-great-granddad.
I had no idea.
Yes, I was looking back on the reading. So all in all, what a wonderful character, and I've enjoyed it thoroughly, and it's great to hear. They're fantastic, and I use the word fantastic. Wonderful work these two gentlemen have done.
They're not bad, are they?
I can congratulate them. Spiritual stars.
Yes, very good. Are you happy with what they've found out for you? And there's also the element of the classic cars as well, which you spotted. And I mean, again, what a wonderful thing that they've taken a picture of him in the car, standing by the side of his first proper car. And that's as classic car as you can get, isn't it, really?
And I think we know that he wasn't just driving this car, but he was actually very, very proud of it, because he was unique. He was the first policeman in the whole of the county to have a police car. And what an advantage. You know, you can actually get from one place to the other quickly. You can go and sort of nab those criminals and sort of zoom in. So, I mean, you know, this is sort of Z cars before, you know, Z cars before Z cars. But, I mean, really, you know, he was very proud of this. And so I'm not surprised that Derek would be sort of picking up on that sort of element of George's personality, because I think that probably was a sort of big thing in his life.
Thank you very much again for coming in, and obviously to the team, well done for all your hard work and effort, and leaves me to give you both this, which is our information and all the research that we've prepared for you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We'll treasure this, and thank you too.
Derek, Chris and Anthony are preparing themselves for another reading, but it's time for us to meet our next set of volunteers. Robin and Sheila have brought in a corner cabinet which they believe has links to the English aristocracy. Will the team prove them correct? Sheila, Robin, welcome to the Antiques Ghost Show.
Thank you very much.
Now, you've brought in with you this rather amazing looking antique. Do you want to tell me a bit about it?
We believe it to come out of Chatsworth or Haddon House, but it was given to great-grandma or great-great-grandma as a wedding gift because she worked in one of the two halls as a linen maid. And when they married, supposedly they were given linen and a piece of furniture.
Where is Chatsworth House?
Chatsworth House is the seat in Derbyshire, just outside Chesterfield, of one of the royal families.
Okay,
Part of the royal family.
And is it still a stately home?
Oh,
It
yes.
is.
Lovely story. So you want to find out a little bit more about that history?
Oh, definitely. We still have some of the linen with the initials on.
Okay, well, are you ready to meet Derek?
Oh, yes, please.
Yes, please.
Okay, let's go into the reading.
Thank you.
Robin,
Yes.
I'm very pleased to meet you. And Sheila, I'm very pleased to meet you as well.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming along today. And I take it this is your family heirloom.
That's right.
May I have your permission to approach it, this cabinet, and maybe touch it? Okay. This goes 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Yes.
3
Yes.
linked with this cabinet.
Yes.
I'm going back to the 3, 1820, 1820, 1823, 1824, 1825. Those figures
Yes.
show in this cabinet.
Yes.
Do you understand that?
Yes.
Got it.
Okay, if I say great-great-grandmother.
Yes.
Sorry for jumping. Sorry. Gosh. This great-great-grandmother coming down to the great-grandmother, there was a fair amount of children, was there not?
Yes.
9 in all.
Well, we know of 7.
2 lost. 2 over there. The 7 makes the 9. Because I'm getting the links here. Forgive me, okay? That's better. Someone says here Cyprus. Cyprus.
No, not quite.
Okay, Cyprus. I don't know what that means. Okay, that's all right. Cyprus and Nicholas. Was something supposed to be done and didn't happen? Linked with that name? Not at all? Okay. But can I just say, I don't know what it was meant, but I've got to give that, okay? Forgive me.
Okay.
But I want to say, there was... Okay.
Yes. I'll take it.
You take that.
Thank you.
Okay. You get a man here also, whether he's consciously linked, but you know, he's got a miner's lamp on. And he's looking, those energies, this way, that way. Do you understand?
I could take it. Does it
Okay.
glitter?
Pardon?
Does it glitter?
Yes. This was passed when I gave the 3 before, 3 links.
Right.
I feel there would be, and I want to give it like a speed. Female, 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 female and male. Why they give me that, I don't know. Okay. Would this not be on your side of your family, please?
The 3 definitely was, yes.
Yes. Okay. And the last being your mother, love.
Yes.
Before her mother,
Yes.
and her mother, that would be your grandmother, great-grandmother,
Yes.
over 200 years ago.
Yes.
And just before because that's all it's given me here, because they've come in. I just want to say, Elizabeth, Elizabeth, Elizabeth,
Oh,
Elizabeth,
definitely.
Elizabeth, Elizabeth. Do you
Definitely.
understand?
Definitely.
She doesn't want, maybe the last on the scene, but doesn't want to be forgotten, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to stop now with your permission, because that's basically what the residual was giving me, and the link's here. So I hope that's been, you know, some kind of help.
It has. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So Derek picked up on 3 generations of ladies who owned the cupboard. Could one of these be Elizabeth, a name he also sensed? And who was the man with the miner's lamp? The dates 1823 to 25 were important, and Derek's mention of Cyprus seemed to strike a chord with Sheila and Robin. In the debriefing room, we're looking for a lot of answers. What are your instant reactions after all that?
Wonderful. It's uplifted me anyway, and it's given me a lot more into the insight of Robin's family.
What was the relevance with the miner's lamp?
The miner's lamp was, grandfather was an engineer in the diamond mines in Kimberley. Went from just outside Barnsley to South Africa, and he asked for Grandma to go out there to marry him.
So he got that fairly spot on?
He got it done, absolutely spot on.
Sheila, as well as the beautiful cabinet, you've brought in this glorious looking dress. Whose was it?
Well, it was Minnie Louise Chips. Minnie Louise was the one that went out to Africa and was married out there, and we believe that it went out to Africa with her.
Absolutely beautiful. And you've also brought in these 2 lovely, what are they, glass portraits?
2 glass paintings, one of Minnie and one of Charles Chip.
Okay. And then he talked about Cyprus. What did that mean to you?
We interpreted it as St Cyprius, and it was the church that they was married in.
That's quite a coincidence that you have the Church of St Cyprian's and Derek mentioned Cyprus.
That's wonderful.
Derek mentioned the name Elizabeth and you both reacted quite strongly. Who was she?
Initially I thought it was my own mother, Mary Elizabeth, but I think it will be great-grandmother.
Let's turn now to our experts before we go back to the reading. Chris, you've seen this piece already and you've obviously had a little bit of a look at it. Robin is fairly certain that it comes from Chatsworth House.
Oh.
Would that make sense? Would that be in keeping with this piece?
Well, Chatsworth House is furnished with the finest furniture in Europe. I mean, it's one of the most splendid houses in Britain. I'm not sure. I have been inside Chatsworth House, and it's got, typical of that period, when the house was designed, the furniture was designed, or the main pieces of furniture were designed to go in the house with it. It's certainly a piece worthy of a minor room. It's certainly a formal, smart piece of furniture. These are very interesting to me as well.
That was my next question.
I just thought I'd preempt you with that. I haven't seen these fleur-de-lis, these Prince of Wales feathers, before on furniture. That may well, if we're talking Chatsworth, and if we're talking that sort of provenance, let me just go away and investigate.
Okay, all right. Anthony?
Well. So your grandparents were the people who had the cabinet from Chatsworth, is that correct?
We are led to understand that one of the great or grand or whatever was a linen maid in Chatsworth House.
Oh, I see, right. Well, that's certainly it's a sort of clear thing to try and find out about. But there are some potential sources for finding out about servants, and I shall go away and sort of plumb them as much as I can.
Right, well, you've given us plenty to go on, so I think over to you two, really, to start the investigation. Well, we'll give Chris and Anthony a little bit longer to get as much information as they can before knuckling down to their research. Join us after the break when we find out how they got on.
And so here we have the 6th Duke of Devonshire.
Now, he was a very flamboyant character, and in fact he was a sort of fashion icon of his day.
The power in which those vibrations were actually coming out was quite remarkable.
Before the break, Robin and Sheila brought in a corner cupboard. According to family legend, it was a gift from a duke to Robin's great-grandmother. Derek lent support to their story by picking up this lady's first name.
Elizabeth, 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 Elizabeth. Do you understand?
And felt a number of dates were important in the cupboard's history.
1823, 1824, 1825.
Over to our independent experts, and Chris set off to see whether those dates would tally with the cupboard's precise age, and to explore the significance of its intricate fleur-de-lis symbol. Meanwhile, Anthony decided to see if he could prove that connection with the Duke. Derek, Robin and Sheila have now returned to our Manor House headquarters to hear their results. Sheila, Robin, welcome back to the Antiques Ghost Show. Say welcome back also to, of course, our experts. Now, we're about to play you the film that Anthony and Chris have made, which gives you the results.
Oh, wonderful.
Now, how are you feeling about it?
Excited.
Do you think they've got it all right?
As long as there aren't too many skeletons, I'm not too bothered.
Too many skeletons? Is there something else you haven't told us?
No, we're just wondering what those lads might dig up.
Okay, all right, well, we'll play that in just a second. Now, Derek, you came up with a heck of a lot of information for Sheila and Robin back at the reading. Are you feeling confident that the boys have done you justice?
I really do, absolutely, since I've been sitting here, Nina. Even the vibrations that come from not just artefacts, they come from researching minds like this, and I feel they have. Although I don't know, I really do think they've done a grand job.
Great, all right. Ready to take a look? Definitely. Let's watch it. Chatsworth House in Derbyshire is home to the Duke and Duchess of Devonshire. It's been in the family for over 400 years, and the current house was built in the early 1700s. Anthony has arrived here in search of conclusive proof that Robin's great-grandmother, Elizabeth Wallace, once worked here. On hand to help is the family's official archivist, Andrew Peppett. So will his records prove Robin's family legend correct?
Well, what we've got, Anthony, is the account books for 1854, the first year in which she worked here. And here is her name in the wages list for the first half year that she worked, sometime starting between September and December of 1854.
And then what else have we got? We've got how much money she got there, haven't we?
Yes, she was paid £7 10 shillings for a half year's work,
right.
Which would translate into something probably like £350, £360 by today's standards, which doesn't sound a lot. But then again, we have to remember that, of course, she would have had board and wages, and she would perhaps have been in a room, something like this, that would have been provided for her.
Yes, well, I was going to say, in fact, this is great because in fact, you've actually got, and this is, I take it, an original servant's room.
And this is one of the original servants' rooms, as you can see, with 2 beds and with a washstand and a fireplace as well, so it would have been reasonably comfortable,
right,
even in winter, which is good to know.
Elizabeth's living quarters may have been on the Spartan side, but she would still have been able to enjoy the splendour of the rest of the house.
Well, Andrew is standing in this magnificent dining room. Now, is this the sort of place which Elizabeth might have encountered while she was working here?
Yes, it is, I think. It's possible, depending on the kind of work that she did. This part of Chatsworth was built by the 6th Duke, whose portrait by Lawrence we see here behind us. It was an area that was built in the 1820s, finished in the early 1830s, and this would have been a dining room in regular use during the time when she was here and when the 6th Duke was alive, and wonderful surroundings to have worked in.
Wonderful. And so here we have the 6th Duke of Devonshire. And so am I right in thinking then that this was the man who in fact paid Elizabeth's wages?
Yes, he was the employer. Yes, he was the boss.
If Robin and Sheila's family legend is correct, this is the man who gave their ancestor her cupboard when she left his service. But will this tale hold up under scrutiny? To put it to the test, Chris has been conducting some researches of his own into the origins of the cupboard itself.
It's interesting to see the Prince of Wales feathers on furniture. Now, this is a Georgian corner cupboard. So the Prince of Wales in question is the son of George III. Now, he was a very flamboyant character. And in fact, he was a sort of fashion icon of his day. And actually, people wished to replicate his designs on the furniture. Now, it's not very common, but certainly we do see it from time to time. And it also helps us accurately date this piece to about 1820.
The date Chris has provided is incredibly close to the years Derek picked up from his psychic analysis of the cupboard.
1823, 1824, 1825.
But does the cupboard's age fit in with Robin's belief that it was his great-grandmother's leaving present? Well, it certainly doesn't rule it out. It's old enough to have belonged to the parents of the Duke who employed Elizabeth. And in fact, as Anthony's finding out back at Chatsworth House, the life of the Duke's mother could provide further evidence of the cupboard's origins.
His mother was Georgiana, the wife of the 5th Duke, a very important figure, a society hostess, very much involved in the political life of her day. We certainly know that she moved in the same circles as the Prince of Wales, for example.
That's intriguing, because the corner cabinet where we started our quest has actually got the Prince of Wales's feathers on it.
Yes.
So the cabinet was made, I think, about 1820. So do you think there's a sort of possibility that there could be a link with the cabinet sort of going back through his mother to the Prince of Wales that way?
Well, there certainly was that link there in the Regency time. There's no doubt about that. We are going back perhaps 50 years before Elizabeth Wallis's employment in the house.
So if the Duchess placed the Prince of Wales feathers on her furniture as a symbol of their friendship, it could prove the link between our cupboard and the Chatsworth House collection. The family's story of a Duke's generous wedding gift is now far more credible.
Elizabeth and her new husband Jacob moved away from here to Mexborough near Leeds, where they settled down and started a family. Elizabeth died there at a ripe old age in 1905, but she and her descendants always had that cabinet to remind them of the time which she had spent here as a servant at Chatsworth.
So there you go, Sheila and Robin. Part of the mystery solved for you?
Magic.
Magic, absolutely
Yep.
fantastic, I think. I don't know what Robin thinks. Yeah. I now know what sort of a family I married into.
Well, I mean, Anthony, going back, it must have been great to have found Elizabeth Wallis down on Chatsworth's records.
It was actually a real relief, because as I said when we talked before, there's no guarantee that a servant is going to be recorded as such at all, so it might have been unprovable. And I'm really glad that Chatsworth have got such good records, and they were able to absolutely confirm your family's story and prove how you're linked to Chatsworth via that cabinet.
Great. Now, Chris, again, lovely piece. Definitely, there's no direct conclusion that it's come from Chatsworth House, but...
There isn't a direct conclusion, unfortunately. But the link between the Devonshires, i.e. Georgiana, and the Prince of Wales, is it a coincidence? I don't know. But I mean, we can take it that the Prince of Wales feathers don't appear on a lot of pieces of furniture.
Derek, you must be delighted. Your readings seem to verify quite a few aspects of this.
Yes, very much so, Nina. I am absolutely thrilled. But, on the given day, the power in which those vibrations were actually coming out was quite remarkable. So I'm not really surprised, but I say it humbly, I'm not really surprised where my side of the work is concerned, because the vibrations of your people linked with this beautiful cabinet, is still there thick and fast. So I'm absolutely thrilled for both of you.
Thank you very much. That's wonderful.
Let me give you this to take away as a memento of the day and the
thank you very much.
It's Chris and Anthony's hard research for you, and we wish you the very best with your ongoing searches.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
And thank you to the team. Wonderful.
Well, that's another psychic investigation in the bag from the Ghost Show team. We hope you've enjoyed it as much as we've enjoyed making it. Take care until next time. Bye-bye. Thanks very much.